At one point, he was next to Sabu, probably the closest guy in the business to me.
That must make me the whole show!
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
What did RVD think of? We know about Mike Awesome, but what did RVD think of Mike Awesome? You had some great stories already with Mike Awesome.
Yeah, I loved Mike Awesome. He was next to Sabu, probably the closest guy in the business to me. We were road wives, which is what we call it when we travel together. 2000. Well, it was 2001. It was Mike and I. Sabu wasn't even in the company at that time. And Mike Austin, but Mike was a friend of Sabu's from FMW, so that's how I connected with him. You know, if you're a friend of Sabu's, you're a friend of mine. You know, and it was like that. Same thing with Louis Piccoli, anybody. But you know, he was in Sabu's clique if he was on the road with Sabu, and so he and I became travel partners. And actually it was at 9/11, the OG experience, when we were stuck in Houston and all the airplanes were grounded, that we picked up Sean Stasiak because him and Sean were good friends. And then it became the three of us, and then Mike was out, and then it was me and Sean for quite a while until I think they let Sean go or whatever. And besides that, you know, Booker T and Booker T and Nick Patrick and I were travel partners. Me and Sabu always will be. And I don't think anybody else. I think besides that, I've just always been by myself. But you get to know somebody when you travel on the road with them. And Mike was a germaphobe. I found that hilarious because he's a big fucking gladiator, you know, that'll fucking squeeze you through the guardrail, but with his power. But afterwards, he was just so funny at how particular his habits were of cleanliness when we would go to eat. And it made sense. But I mean, most of us would go and wash our hands, come back to the table. He would wait because he's like, why wash your hands and then handle the ketchup bottle? That's a good point. How dirty is that fucking ketchup bottle? And take the cap off of it, and you're going to pour that ketchup on your hamburger, and then you're going to be, everyone that touched that ketchup bottle all day is now holding your hamburger, you know? And so Mike would wait until the food came, and everybody that wanted to come by and shake their hand that we could see, anybody that wanted to come and meet us was all gone. And he'd wait till everything and be like, okay, I think I'm safe. And this is after he put the salt and pepper and ketchup and mustard, and which is really smart. A1 sauce, whatever, you get the point. But then before he actually touches his food, then he would use the hand sanitizer. And I thought it's smart, but also so peculiar. And I thought it was funny at the same time. And I thought it was even funnier right when he would get ready to eat, someone would come by and say, RVD, oh my God, Mike Awesome, I love you guys. He'd be like, God damn it. And they'd be like, you know, I'll shake your hand, but can I do it after this hamburger? And him getting mad would make it even funnier. Because he wasn't joking about it. He was like perturbed at the issue, not at the guy, but just at the issue. And it was very funny. Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. He seemed like a good time. I tell you what, I think it was the first one night stand in 2005. You had that match with oh my God, Masato Tazaka. And holy shit, that was like the show stealer there for that one.
Sure, yeah. I mean, one of the best ECW matches ever. Like, put that up there in competition if you're voting on the best match fucking ever. So with ECW, I just, great wrestler. I thought he was a great representation of ECW as a heavyweight champion. Right, I really wanted to build up the TV championship to where he and I could someday go belt for belt with a lot more eyes on us from our own separate individual efforts of putting two really strong pillars up. And I was going in that direction, but not all the way through. But I wanted to wrestle him in heavyweight championship for the TV championship. I was a big fan of his work. And one thing I got to say about him personally, because if there's any chance that his kids are listening, watching, or anyone that knows his kids is watching, I got to say he loved his fucking kids. He missed his kids every moment when he was on the road. And that's what he looked forward to coming home to, was hugging and smelling his kids.
That's a good dad right there. Like talking about their kids all the time.
He used to like smelling them, sniffing them down and stuff. And I thought that was funny too.
That's adorable though too. Who's one guy you never got to work with, or not much at least, that you would have loved to work with more? Says Ian Bag Jones.
These questions are always really challenging for me.
Yeah. Kind of mentioned him already in Mike Awesome, because like you all said.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Perfect answer. Thank you. I would have. See, Barbie, I would have liked to have wrestled Mike Awesome a lot more, because I didn't wrestle him at all.
Yeah. And you also mentioned Sid too, way back in the day. How you would have.
That's true.
Match with Sid. Mm-hmm.
That's true, but that was something where the promoter put it together. I was looking forward to it. It would have been awesome. I was disappointed it didn't happen, but and that's true. But with Mike Awesome, that was a lot more long-term thinking, and it was for the betterment of the company, and it was more like, one of the only long-term storylines, if you want to call it that I feel like I was really invested in, because while I was having the best matches, in my opinion, and some of the fans' opinions of the night, every night with the TV championship, that wasn't done before. The TV championship was supposed to be more of a secondary belt when it came to importance, but here I am the whole effing show. People were cheering for me throughout the whole show till I would come in at the end, and I was doing that in a way that was good for me, obviously, but good for the company, good for the story. And while Mike was an awesome, no pun intended, heavyweight extreme champion, I wanted to put that off as long as we were growing. Wait, not yet, that one of those things, because ECW's crowds were growing, our opportunities were growing with everything, just getting our name out there. So I wanted to make it to a stage where we were at our absolute biggest and then collide. And I'm sure those would have been some of the best matches that I had in ECW. I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. And it was neat too, because you talk about how big of a dude Mike Awesome was. He looked like this champion that would just this monster that could stop. And then you would contrast with them with your abilities and your different style in the ring. It would have been a hell of a match. And then plus the cachet you were building by holding that TV title and making that your own. And then boom, you guys collide to be big.
Yeah, and all of that, the best thing about all of that is that it's not, that whole story isn't something that was written, in an office with people that were paid to come up with something. That was real. That's what was happening organically, and those are always the best.
Steve, so they will close out this. I remember when you had a confrontation with Mike Awesome in 2000 and thought you was going to get the title from him, but then you got the knee injury. Yeah, we talked about that before on the previous episodes.
But I don't remember the confrontation, though.
Yeah, I don't remember the confrontation either, but I do remember, hey, you building up to that, and then the injury happened. And then Mike left for WCW, I think it was at that point. that right?
Oh wait, well, I'm trying to. I guess it must be the ankle injury because that's when my TV championship ended, and yeah, I don't remember the confrontation though, but
I got some time to burn. Let's do this right now.
I think it should have. It's cool to have teased it, but I would have liked to have done it much later if we were continuing to grow at the pace that we were back then.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, that's another one of the top matches to have. It would definitely be that.